Twilight settles over the Narmada River, where the mist rises to meet the shadows of an ancient forest hermitage. This is the edge of a landscape that a single traveler has spent a lifetime crossing, a world of winding riverbanks and endless horizons. A disciple finally arrives at this shore. His movements are heavy, his clothes stained by the dust of a journey that has lasted decades. He has exhausted the traditional paths. He has memorized manuscripts, performed every ritual, and engaged in years of debate. Yet, despite the knowledge he has gathered, he remains spiritually restless. He approaches the master with the question that has driven his entire life: where is Brahman? The master does not provide a map or a new text. Instead, he points a single finger directly at the disciple's own chest. The disciple has been treating reality as a destination, a place to be reached through physical or mental effort. By treating the truth as something out there, every step he takes in the search creates the very distance he is trying to close. This specific tension, the search for a reality that is already present, is the focus of the Māṇḍūkya Upanishad. The text uses the syllable Om as a framework to categorize every possible human experience. It identifies three primary states: the waking world of physical objects, the internal world of dreams, and the state of deep, dreamless sleep. The disciple has spent his life looking for the absolute within these states, searching for a waking insight or a meditative vision. However, these states are inherently temporary. The waking world vanishes when we sleep. The dream world dissolves when we wake. A truth that is absent during any part of our lives cannot be the ultimate reality. The search has failed because the disciple has been looking for a new object to experience, rather than investigating the subject that remains constant throughout all three states. This shift in perspective is summed up in the text's central declaration: Ayam Ātmā Brahma. This self is Brahman. The logic of the sentence rests on the first word, ayam, which translates to this. In a religious context, we often refer to the ultimate as that, something remote, existing in another time or a different plane of existence. This implies the opposite. It suggests a reality that is seated directly in the viewer's current ordinary heart. When the target of the search is defined as this, the concept of a journey begins to lose its meaning. If the truth is as immediate as one's own breath, then looking for it elsewhere is the only thing making it seem hidden. If reality is actually one and immediate, we are left with a question: why do we see a world of separate, moving parts? The philosopher Gaudapāda explained this using what he called the firebrand analogy. Imagine a single glowing stick. When it is swung rapidly in the dark, it leaves trails of light that appear to hang in the air. The movement tricks the eye into seeing complex, solid shapes, circles and lines that seem to have their own independent existence. But the moment the movement slows, the shapes vanish. There was never a circle. There was only ever one single point of flame. Gaudapāda suggested that when the mind fluctuates with thoughts and desires, it projects the appearance of a world filled with many different objects and people. When that mental movement comes to a rest, the appearance of multiplicity fades, revealing the singular reality underneath. This background of stillness is referred to as turiya, or the fourth. It is the awareness that remains when the movement of waking, dreaming, and deep sleep ceases. From this perspective, liberation is not a change in the world, but a cessation of the mental fluctuation that created the illusion of separation. Night has fallen at the hermitage. The disciple's efforts to think his way to the truth have reached their natural end. The master strikes a large bronze temple bell. The resulting sound is sudden and immense, filling the courtyard. The tone rings out, vibrates through the air, and then begins to slowly fade. The silence that follows the ring is the same silence that was there before it started. The sound was simply an event that happened within that silence. Our thoughts and states of consciousness are like that bell's ring. They arise, peak, and dissolve. But the witness, the silent awareness, does not change when the sound begins or ends. The search ends when the seeker realizes he is the silence, not the sound. The master and disciple sit together. there is no longer a need for words. Recognizing the truth within is the first step. Next, we explore why the Upanishads claim that this internal reality is identical to the entire universe.